And before we get started today, check out the links below in this post. First up, the folks I am promoting today, discountednewspapers.com. Folks, listen, local journalism is a dying art, and it shouldn't be, because local news will cover local issues. So, check out discountednewspapers.com, where they have subscriptions to over 400 different newspapers, both national and local newspapers around the country. And those subscriptions help keep them in business and will help them keep tabs on what's going on in your area. So please check out discountednewspapers.com. The link is in this post. And as always, my social media provider in terms of helping me keeping things organized is socialbee.io. SocialBee is the social media management tool that enables posting across all of your profiles, including Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Google My Business, and TikTok. Check them out. Get a free trial with them and see if you like it. I did. That's why I went with them. Socialbee.io. Okay, my friends, let's get started with this week's podcast of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur OGL 1.1 draft writer. Welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. And here at AWSM Radio, we focus on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day, such as my own. And all we do here is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you. I want you to be part of the conversation. So find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the Counter Social, on the Cameo at Colt S. Taylor. And of course, follow ColtSebastianTaylor.com. And the podcast version of this broadcast can be heard on Anchor.fm starting Sundays after the repeat broadcast on AWSM Radio, as well as posted on the Yield YouTube. And of course, follow me at twitch.tv/ColtSTaylor, where I occasionally broadcast myself creating this radio show. Although I am not today, so you're the first to hear it. Sorry, Twitch followers. Anyways, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week, unfortunately, I'm here to tell you about the passing of Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis. Passed away this week after a brief hospitalization. She apparently passed away due to cardiac arrest. She was only 54 years old. In a statement set out by Priscilla Presley, said that the tragic death of their beloved Lisa Marie, they are proudly grateful for support, love, and prayers, everyone, and ask for privacy during this very difficult time. Now, Lisa Marie Presley was just seen this week also at the Golden Globe Awards, where the movie about her father's life, Elvis, Austin Butler, who plays Elvis in that movie, received a Golden Globe for his performance. So she was there with her mother, Priscilla Presley, just days ago, but apparently had suffered a cardiac arrest. 2 days later, was rushed to the hospital, where she unfortunately passed away. Now, she was no stranger to celebrities, obviously being the daughter of a major cultural icon, Elvis, but she also had her own marriages as well. She was married to Michael Jackson. Yes, remember that? Michael Jackson in 1994, I believe, and then a few years later, she was married to Nicolas Cage for like a few months. They really didn't stick. So like she married, not a few years later. She married Michael Jackson in 1994, Nicolas Cage in 2002 as well, but they divorced a few months later. In 2006, she married guitarist Michael Lockwood, but they divorced in 2021 and have twin daughters together, Finley and Harper. She also experienced tragedy as well for herself. Her son from her first marriage passed away in 2021 due to suicide. So she also overcame opiate addiction as well throughout the years, and she had a lot of struggles, and very much out there in the public as well. This past fall, in memory of her son, she wrote an essay for People magazine in honor of National Grief Awareness Day about the pain her family had dealt with since her son's death. She wrote, My and my $3 lives, as we know, is completely detonated and destroyed by his death. We live in every single day. Grief is something you have to carry with you for the rest of your life, in spite of what certain people in our culture want us to believe. You do not get over it. You do not move on, period. Now, she passed away due to cardiac arrest, and within moments, people were blaming the COVID-19 vaccine. But in their defense, those people are idiots. They can't help themselves. They're just, how do I put this? Room temperature IQ slack-jawed yokels and whatnot. So, her father passed away. Grandfather, heart issues is something that the Presley family has dealt with for multiple generations. Okay, so before you're like, "Ooh, well, she's vaccinated," just just put down that Twitter account and maybe watch a science program, not one on YouTube, like an actual science program. I can't stand these people. Anyways, Lisa Marie Presley passed away this week at the age of 54 after a brief hospitalization. Moving along, there was another celebrity passing this week. Diamond of Diamond and Silk fame passed away this week. Diamond and Silk, which you may not know who they are, and if you don't, that's, I don't know how they market themselves very well, were very bombastic pro-Trump supporters who came up and became sort of, I guess, MAGA icons in 2017 as being very deep and passionate supporters of Donald Trump, often getting on their webcam from their homes and, blabbing out various pro-Trump statements and whatnot. I was not super impressed with them. I mean, hey, they made tons of money. They grifted tons of money. But unfortunately, Lynette Diamond Hardaway, her friend, Diamond and Silk, she passed away this week. Now, there is some bits, well, there's two things. There is some bit of, I guess, dispute of what was going on in terms of her passing. Via the Twitter, rumor has it, she had the COVID-19, and of course, this may not surprise you, both of them are very passionate anti-vaxxers. And so the rumor on Twitter was that she had passed away from COVID-19, and because she refused to be vaccinated. Now, Silk, her partner here, very much pushed back against this, saying that wasn't true. That wasn't true, and that anyone saying that needs to retract that because it's just not true. According to Mike Lindell of the My Pillow guy and borderline, what's the phrase of it? Insurrectionist crazy man, said that he was told by Silk that she had just sort of collapsed with no warning whatsoever, had just collapsed and had died. Her heart had just given out and she died. So no, of course, there's no real no real way to tell as of yet. I don't know if they'll release a death certificate or whatnot, but if she did pass from COVID-19, I doubt we will ever find out whatsoever. But those two were very much against COVID-19 vaccines. In fact, got kicked off of Fox News. It got Fox News in 2020 because they're pushing COVID-19 conspiracies. However, come 2021, they started doing shows on Mike Lindell's streaming website, Frank TV, where people could be frank. Anyways, those two will continue. I'm sure they'll make some money, but Silk, in the notice of her passing, posted a link to raise money for her memory. So, in announcing of her death, she immediately posted something, a way to get some money from their followers. And as of now, over $90,000 have been raised. So, So anyways, the famed Diamond of Diamond and Silk went to the White House, had a show on Fox News, introduced the Diamond and Silk Act with noted racist Steve King, Representative Steve King from Iowa, to end sanctuary cities. So just they were quite the pair. But again, folks, not sure if it happened, but get your vaccinations. You don't want to be one of these people who die after not getting vaccinated. Not saying it happened to Miss Diamond here, but plenty of stories out there where that is actually what happened to other people. But anyways, the famed Diamond of Diamond and Silk passing away this week at the age of 51, announced by their social media platforms, as well as a tribute from former President Donald Trump, saying, quote unquote, really bad news for Republicans and frankly all Americans. Our beautiful Diamond of Diamond and Silk has just passed away in her home state, in her home in the state she loves so much, North Carolina. So I guess you get a shout from Donald Trump. That's something. Next up, my friends, in the only reoccurring segment on the show that had developed organically, it's time for a Kanye West update. And I have some sad news to share for all you single ladies out there hoping to snag yourself some Kanye. He may be off the open market because reportedly he is now once again a married man. Yes, I'm sorry, the yeaster is no longer available. He is now married. To who, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Apparently, a woman named Bianca Sensory. She is from Australia, and she has worked as an architectural designer for Kanye for several years. The head of architecture, not farms. The head of architecture, apparently. Well, there is no official marriage certificate yet, but both her and him have been spotted wearing rings recently and were at a very fancy Utah resort, apparently. So, I guess that's what's going on there. Last month, Kanye released a song called Sensory Overload. Her last name is spelled Censori, as a tribute to her, I suppose. Amongst that lyrics in that song said, and the Bible said, I can't have any more sex till marriage. Well, gosh, some people marry for the sex, other people marry for the insurance, some marry for love. For Kanye, it's probably the first one. So, they are together now. This is just 2 months after finalizing a divorce with Kim Kardashian. Looks like Kanye is picking up the pieces of his love life and moving on. This makes him an even greater threat, I think, to be the nominee for 2024. Oh, Kanye. Moving on to another update, social media influencer Andrew Tate, who I talked about last week, who was arrested in Romania for human trafficking and other sex crimes, tried to get released and was denied. He is still in jail and being detained in Romania. Yes, in Romania. So, he's trying to get out. He's feuding with people. He's feuding with people even from jail and from Romania, including Logan Paul, etc., etc. Numerous, just the who's who of the bottom of the barrel, terrible people on social media are coming out to defend him, including Candace Owens. Of course, she's in there, a Kanye West buddy. She's defending him, saying that, oh, well, you go to jail for making women fall in love with you and doing things for you because they love you. There's nothing illegal about that. Well, there's nothing wrong with having someone fall in love with you. It is wrong to coerce them into pornographies and whatnot. That is that's called sex trafficking. You can't actually do that. You can't actually do that. You certainly can't threaten them. And, but listen, they would need a lot of evidence to get him for those things. Fortunately for authorities, Andrew Tate has made many videos where he's admitting to a variety of crimes. Now, his defense attorney apparently is trying to say, well, he didn't mean those things. This is just a character. This is a character he does. He's a persona. This is just a character. Basically, the Alex Jones school of law defenses here. Fun fact, Alex Jones does owe $1 billion to various people for his quote-unquote act. I believe he's come to defend Andrew Tate as well. I would have to check on that. I'm just guessing on that one. Well, anyways, including his woes, all of his cars have been seized, which, as you may remember, this was first started after he an unsolicited sort of statement sent to Greta Gutenberg, Greta, the girl from Sweden who was concerned about the climate, sent her a tweet about all the cars and the emissions they give, and then she kind of clapped back at him, and then he released a video that was kind of weird, and then he went to jail, and he's still in jail, or still detained in Romania. But anyways, also came out this week that he has apparently multi-million-dollar deals with some social media sites, including Rumble, which is a right-wing social media video site, apparently worth $9 million. $9 million. The video-based social media website is popular with conservatives as they market themselves as, quote, being immune to cancel culture. So, yeah, so I don't know if he'll get that money. I mean, if he gets convicted, he'll probably have to give that money back. According to Rumble said in a statement released this week, Rumble strongly condemns human trafficking and sexual abuse, and our platform prohibits pornography and all forms of illegal activity. At the same time, every accused deserves due process. The allegations against Andrew Tate, which do not appear to involve any content on Rumble, should be investigated promptly and thoroughly, and we will not prejudge that investigation. So, he also apparently has a deal with Getter, another right-wing social media outlet run by noted D-bag Jason Miller. Let's see here. Who else has come to his defense? Oh, no, that's something else. So Rumble, like I said, Rumble also has struck multi-million-dollar deals with Glenn Greenwald, a right-wing personality, comedian musician Russell Brand, who's gone off on the deep end, over the past few years, who is, I've seen some of his footage. He is just, oh, what is his deal? What is his deal? Apparently, Rumble, for those who are wondering, is valued at over $2 billion and received financial backing from billionaire Peter Thiel, the owner of PayPal, and also a sort of far-right libertarian guy who took down a publisher, really. Kind of took him out because they published stories he didn't like, and then also backed several truly awful Senate candidates in 2022. Like, oh boy, what's wrong with, how did this guy fool you into giving you money, sort of thing. But anyways, Andrew Tate remains locked up, also very popular among quote-unquote alpha males. Well, he better get a alpha lawyer because his current lawyer obviously can't get him out of jail. Now, there's one person that should be a much bigger influence that I say you should be influenced by and not by Andrew Tate. It's my pal DC. Yes, that's the segue. DC is our in-house DJ here at AWSM Radio, where he mixes it up every Friday nights at 9 p.m. You do not want to miss out while he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from South Florida. And then on Saturdays, it's DC House Party Saturdays, where DC brings his freestyling DJing to the max. House Party Saturdays gives you all the Miami vibe without actually having to be down there in that state. From the top clubs to the bars, DC will bring the party to you. That's Saturdays at 10 p.m. And then on Sundays at 10 p.m., it's DC Live in Effect again. So, just to review, Fridays at 9 p.m., DC Live in Effect. Saturdays at 10 p.m., DC House Party Saturdays. And then Sundays at 10 p.m., DC Live in Effect, only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. We now go to business, where the FTC is probing Pepsi and Coca-Cola over price discrimination. Yes, price discrimination. They're being investigated by the Federal Trade Commission over potential price discrimination in the soft drink market, according to several sources this week. The pricing strategies from both companies are being looked at under the Robinson-Patman Act. This is an antitrust law that prevents large franchises and chains from engaging in price discrimination against small businesses. The FTC reached out to large retailers, including Walmart, for at least a month, seeking data on and other information on how they purchase and price soft drinks, according to sources. Walmart's not currently the target of the investigation, and neither Pepsi or Coca-Cola responded to comments about this and whatnot. And you know what? Here's the thing that soda prices are up. I love Coke Zero. I'm a big fan. But soda prices are up, and again, you cannot blame inflation for all the rise in prices, okay? It's not inflation, okay? It's not. Like, again, if a company's profits went up 30% and they raised the price of their products up 25%, that is not inflation. That is corporate greed that they are masking as inflation. Now, do they have a right to do that? Yeah, they're a business. They can set the price to whatever they want. Whatever they want, they can make it. They can make it $100 for a can of Coke, can of Pepsi, if they want to do that. That's fine. That is certainly their right. However, I don't think you can say, oh, well, sorry, prices are up, but inflation, what are you going to do? It's not inflation, all right? Yeah, plastic prices, sugar prices, they go up. But, if they went up because of inflation, your profits should not increase at the rate of inflation. Just saying. But anyways, I certainly hope they do investigate these two folks, because they should not be cutting deeply discounted deals with major retailers and charging small businesses more. Just saying. In other business news, Bed Bath & Beyond appears to be beyond saving as they posted a $393 million quarterly loss. Quarterly, like 1 quarter of the year, they lost almost $400 million, and bankruptcy is looming according to multiple reports. Bed Bath & Beyond, which you probably have visited in the past, sells various home goods, a lot of decor, some as seen on TV stuff, but they did not have a good holiday. They did not have a good holiday whatsoever. A bad holiday, in fact, because they lost almost $400 million. They took on $375 million in financing in August, and failed last month to convince the bondholders to swap out their investments for new debt. Go figure. Last year, the company said it would close 150 stores and lay off corporate employees, among other cost-saving measurements. According to Wells Fargo analyst Zachary Fadem, it's clear to us that, quote-unquote, behind-the-scene conversations are pointing in the direction of bankruptcy. The company did not say whether it would file for bankruptcy protection. There are several types of bankruptcy you can file for. But they are working with outside advisors to explore options after years of weakening sales. Shares were up 17% as investors speculated that there could be a potential acquisition in the future, and short sellers closed out bets on falling stock. When I say it went up 17%, it's now trading at $1.90. No, not $190. $1.90 per shares. Perhaps not the best. Perhaps the best investment at this time. Anyways, the New Jersey-based company's quarterly loss for the third fiscal quarter, ended November 26th, included a impairment charge of $100 million. That the value of the inventory is below its original estimate. So they had to say we're worth $100 million less because our inventory is not. It was perhaps not as much worth as we think it is. So that is on bankrupt watch. Bed Bath Beyond would be a big company to go under, but they have got a ton of inventory. So I imagine another company would be interested in certainly grabbing up that inventory. But in terms of merging with another company, I can't even think of a similar store that they would be a good match with, you know? They're very unique, but obviously not very popular. Like some sort of home goods store, but any Bed Bath & Beyond store I can think of is like next to a competitor. So they would probably just buy them out, take their inventory, and then close down the store. So, well, anyways, that's worth watching. If you have a Bed Bath & Beyond gift card, I would use it rather quickly because don't know how much longer they're going to be around. In additional business news, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. How does it work? I don't know. Why is it worth so much? I don't know that either. However, what I do know, there are many companies out there based around managing and selling and doing financial stuff with these things. One of them being Coinbase. They're one of the biggest ones. Well, Coinbase is laying off 20% of its workforce, 950 jobs, in a second round of layoffs in less than a year. They're citing adverse economic conditions and disruption within the cryptocurrency market. Big one being the FTX collapse, with billions of dollars just missing. In late 2022, they suffered what the equivalent of a bank run, where people tried to withdraw billions of dollars of cryptocurrency from FTX before it kind of went belly on up. Bitcoin has plunged over 60% over the past year, and things got worse in late 2022. I actually, at one time, had 3 Bitcoins for $30. And let's see here, Bitcoin worth today. Let me just look at that real quickly. One Bitcoin is now worth over almost $20,000. Yeah, so there's that. So I really should. I guess I should have really held on to those 3 Bitcoins in 2010, because the maximum high for a Bitcoin, I believe, was in October of 2021, where it reached $60,000 per Bitcoin. So if I would have held on to those for 10 years, I would have had $180,000. What are you gonna do, right? Well, anyways, those who bought them at, well, although if you bought 3 Bitcoins at $60,000 a pop on October 30th, 2021, they are now worth, let's see here, $20,000 each. So the recent investment of it hasn't really been that great and whatnot. But anyways, Coinbase is a big, legitimate exchange. Went public, I believe. Did they go public? I think they went public. I'm not sure. But anyways, they're big, but they're experiencing some hardships as well. They laid off 1,100 people, about 18% of its workforce, back in June. So we will see what happens. In a statement posted by the company's website, Coinbase co-founder and CEO Brian Armstrong alluded to FTX's collapse, noting the risk of further contagion in the cryptocurrency sector. He also said that Coinbase grew too focused on growing headcount as a metric for success. Well, those 2,000 people may disagree with that statement, having lost their jobs, but definitely a space to watch. And I mean, for those who invest in cryptocurrency, you're living in the Wild West of financialness. And that's something I could do. Something I could do, however, is listen to the best drive time commute home show we have here at AWSM Radio. It's the Rock Sessions. Like I said, it's our drive time show that will make sure your evening commute home is fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts and some other surprises in between. My friend Rocks will make it rock style, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. We now go, my friends, to South America, to Peru, which you may remember me talking about a few weeks ago, of there being an attempted coup in that country where the president tried to dissolve Congress and take control, but was eventually ousted in a sort of impeachment / military said, you can't do that. Well, anyways, protests and violence is racking the country right now as supporters of that president begin to sweep through the country. And their violence first there was protests, and now there is violence with police and security forces opening fire in some cases on protesters. There have been 41 deaths in violent clashes in little more than a month. There are various parts of Peru that are being blocked by protesters and farmers, and it is becoming a very, very difficult and dangerous situation there in Peru. So, just as a reminder, these are supporters of former President Pedro Castillo, who was tried to rule by decree in hoping to and dissolve Congress to avoid a third impeachment trial. He was removed, however, and his vice president became quickly unpopular as police tangled with supporters, turning anger and inciting more protests and blockades. One of the more lethal areas of violence occurred in Julica, in near Peru's border with Bolivia. The city is under a curfew, and there just is a lot of violence in that country. I just by happenstance on TikTok came across a video by someone who was visiting Peru for the last 2 months and decided it was time to get out of the country. But all the trains aren't running because railways are blocked. So he tried to take a cab from one town to the airport, and it was quite the adventure. Quite the adventure. Multiple blockades on the road where he had to get out, walk through a protest, find another car. He hired someone on a motorcycle to take him from town to town. He had to race through a field on this motorcycle as bandits tried to rob him. He eventually had to walk like 10 kilometers on foot with a backpack and his luggage to eventually get to the airport. He was being harassed by some people, and then some, fortunately, nice Peruvians decided to sort of group around him and escort him to the airport, and he was able to get out. So if you're planning to visit Peru, do not visit Peru, okay? This is not the time. In fact, as of today, Peru, the Cusco airport near Machu Picchu, which is a very popular tourist site, has been closed due to protest, and the tourist site also has been closed by officials. So do not go there. Do not go there under any circumstances. It is becoming very dangerous in Peru. They've closed train stations, airports, telling people that, if you are visiting Peru, it could be time to leave. I believe even the United States State Department has released a travel advisory for Peru, saying, hey, you know what? It might be time to leave. It might be time to leave. You know what? Maybe you should leave. I'm just going to double check here real quickly. Yep, they actually issued a travel advisory in December. So in December, that reconsider level 3 alert, which is 3 out of 4. 4 is do not travel, like North Korea is number 4. This is 3. Reconsider travel due to crime. Exercise increased caution due to civil arrest. Some areas have increased arrest. There's also multiple notices about the situation there on the U.S. Embassy in Peru, saying in a statement, demonstrations, train services suspended, and as well as consular agency operations. It says here the announcement: rail services between Cusco, Machu Picchu, and Hydroelectra have been suspended until further notice. Travelers remaining in the August Village area should contact local authorities regarding available options for departure, which may involve a combination of rail, walking, and bus travel. Peruvian National Police expect large protests to take place in Cusco throughout the day. Demonstrations and roadblocks continue to affect security and movement in Cusco and the Sacred Valley. Do not approach demonstrations or attempt to drive around roadblocks. U.S. citizens should avoid crowds and follow the instructions of local authorities. The consular agency in Cusco has canceled all appointments for this weekend, and they give you phone numbers, etc., etc. These airports remain closed in Peru. The Alejandro Vesco St. International Airport, the Julica Inca Manco Capa Airport, the Jaén Airport, and the that's a long Spanish name which I cannot say. They are saying avoid crowds, avoid demonstrations, do not attempt to pass through a roadblock, and follow traffic police instructions. So, big trouble in Peru. Again, my friends, if you know anyone in Peru, you need to tell them that they need to haul themselves out because it is not a safe place to be. I will follow this story carefully because this could boil up quite a bit. Now, my friends, while I stay up to date and check in on what's happening in Peru, you, my friends, can stay up to date on all things basketball with my pal, Mac Daddy, and his show, To the Rack with Mac. That's right, it is your go-to spot for all things basketball. On Wednesday nights, you will be joined by NBA expert Mac Daddy as he brings you a full hour of high-flying hoops expertise for all things NBA. Tune in Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. for To the Rack with Mac. And then after that, it's What's Going On. What's Going On is our Fox Sports affiliate show, providing listeners with over 150 combined years of sports knowledge and expertise. Hosted by Nate Brown and his crew, they have been a staple of Western New York sports for the past 2 decades, and now they're national, and now we have them here Wednesdays at 10 p.m. So just to review, To the Rack with Mac, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. What's Going On? Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. Moving along, TikTok. TikTok, the popular video app, which I mentioned earlier about that the Peru story, about watching that guy's journey through Peru protests. Well, New Jersey and Ohio have joined other states in banning TikTok from state devices. So, there's a government phone you might get for doing a government job. Well, Ohio and New Jersey have now banned them from putting them on their phones. The New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said in addition to banning the short video app owned by Chinese technology conglomerate ByteDance, he was also banning software vendors' products and services from more than a dozen vendors, including, Huawei, Hikvision, Tencent Holdings, ZTE Corporation, and the Kaspersky Lab. The governor said that there have been national security concerns about user data the Chinese government might require ByteDance to provide. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who's Republican, the governor of New Jersey is Democratic, but he said, these surreptitious data privacy and cybersecurity practices pose a national and local security and cybersecurity threats to users of these applications and platforms and the devices storing the applications and platforms. TikTok released a statement saying it was disappointing that so many states are jumping on the political bandwagon to enact policies that will do nothing to advance cybersecurity in their states and are based on unfounded falsehoods about TikTok. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers planned to join the states on the bans as well. This has been more of a Republican governor crusade, but there have been Democratic governors slowly coming onto this as well. More so now after FBI Director Christopher Wray said in November that TikTok poses a national security threat, saying that Wray flagged the threat that Chinese government could harness the app to influence users or control their devices. Reuters reported on Friday that TikTok has put a hiring process on hold for consultants that would help it implement a potential security agreement with the United States. Two people familiar with matters said, as U.S. officials oppose such a deal. For the last 3 years, TikTok has been seeking to assure Washington, D.C. that the personal data of U.S. citizens cannot be accessed and its content cannot be manipulated by China's Communist Party or any other entity under Beijing's influence. However, all companies in China, I believe, technically are owned by the government. The government has 51% of ownership of all companies at least. So technically, still owned by the government. Listen, if the FBI says it is a threat, then I believe the FBI. They are the professionals. I tend not to listen to political folks that say TikTok is a threat, the election was stolen, and COVID-19 is just the bad flu. Just something about their past statements make me not trust them when they say, oh, TikTok's bad. But the FBI says so. Well, they're the experts in cybersecurity. Ain't me, that's for sure. While I watch TikTok videos, because there's some very good content on there, do I have a TikTok account, you're asking? No, I do not. Why, you ask? Well, I don't dance. I don't have cosplay transitions. I look terrible in the swimsuit. So that's basically all that there is on there. There's certainly some crazy people on there, but you know what? I'd much rather spend my time making my show for you, my friends, than spending time on there dancing or arguing with people whether the world is flat. Yep, there's some people on there too. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up today's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you for joining me here today. Remember, you can find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Facebook at Colt S. Taylor. You can hire me for a personal reading at Cameo/Colt S. Taylor. And the podcast version of the show will be posted on Sunday on YouTube and also at Anchor.fm, both at Colt S. Taylor. Bookmark ColtSebastianTaylor.com and be sure to follow me on Twitch.tv/Colt S. Taylor, where I do some live streaming of this show and some other things from time to time. Well, my friends, until next time, I am, of course, your friend, the one, the only, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later. And once again, my friends, thank you for listening to the podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Just as a reminder, check out the links below in this post. My plug this week is discountednewspapers.com, where you can get subscriptions to over 400 different newspapers. So you really should try to support journalism, especially local news, because they're the ones who are going to cover local stories, not these large conglomerates. So check out discountednewspapers.com. And of course, as always, my friends, check out Social Bee. They are my social media management tool. I use them to post links on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Well, not Pinterest. I don't Pinterest, but you can Pinterest. LinkedIn, Google My Business, and also TikTok. They have a variety of features, including recycling evergreen posts, scheduling posts, and you can track link performance, automatically generate hashtags. They really are the full package of it. So check them out, socialbee.io. And once again, this is Colt Sebastian Taylor, thanking you for listening to this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor.